Let us start with a brief introduction about the contents and the structure of the Krishna Yajurveda. The main book of the mantras in Krishna Yajurveda is the Samhita. The Samhita contains the main rendering and mantras of all main essence. Then there is another book, Brahmanam. The Brahmanam is a book which contains additional mantras or sections that supports rituals and specific or special prayers. Then there is an aranyam or called aranyaka that has philosophical sections and also teachings on code of conduct. Then there is another book, Ekagni kandam. This has main mantras for the performance of karmas. Now, you normally start with rendering suktams. The suktams may be derived out of one book, say like Samhita. If you take Bhusuktam for example, the Krishna Yajurveda Bhusuktam is continuously available in the Samhita, in the first part. Now you take what we call as the Punyavachana mantra, or we call it as Pavamana Suktam, Krishna Yajurvedic style. The first part is found in the fifth kandam, which starts as Hiranyavarna Suchayappa Vagaya Sujata Kashyapoya Svindraha. That is the first part. Now, after the first part, Balamojo Nidatta Pavamana Suvarjanaha, from that part is found in the Brahmanam. So, when our Mahans have structured the Pavamana Suktam, they have taken the essence of the first part from Samhita and again added the relevant portions that prays for the purification of the water, and blessings are sought and the full prayer becomes complete. Let us start with the Samhita first. The Samhita has got 7 main sections which are called kandam. There are 7. There are subjects within a kandam which are called prashnam. There are 44 prashnams overall across these 7 kandams. The chapter within a prashna is called an anuvakam. There are 651 anuvakams in the Samhita. The anuvakam consists of paragraphs which are called, consist of one or more panchatis. A panchati is a para consisting of normally 50 padams. Padams are nothing but the lowest possible denomination of or breakup of a word. Now, the word panchati comes from panchashat. It means 50. Some of the panchatis will have more or less than the 50 padams, and at the end of an anuvakam, which may consist of one or more panchatis, control is given to the student in the form of what is called a chain statement or a korvai. We call it as korvai in the normal parlance. There are 2198 panchatis. The total padams in the Taittiriya Samhita is 1,09,287. So you would ask me first, what are the key areas that we see in the Samhita? We all learn Rudram. Rudram forms part of the 4th kandam, 5th prashnam. Rudram, Oshadi Suktam. You will find various mantras which are part of the suktams that we learn to be a part of Samhita. As you take, already when you are learning many of the suktams, you are already repeating or learning some mantras from the core Samhita. That you will remember. When you start learning Samhita at the later stage, you will find, oh, this is what we have learned. Oh, it is over here like this. Next, I talked about the control. A student without books has to learn it through his guru in good old times. So, there cannot be a distortion of any of the count. First, to get the count correctly, suppose you take the very first panchati in Samhita. It is what most of you would have learned. It starts with Ishe Tvor Jetva and ends as Pasun Pahi. It is the first prayer that cattle will take care of themselves and sun god will guide them. At the end, if you read the Samhita, it will say Ishe Tri Satvarigum Shat. That means 43. If you count the number of padams, you will find it has got 43 padams. The Anuvakam also ends there. Therefore, at the end of every Anuvakam, the Korvai count is given. As you go somewhere down the line, we have given in our book, that is in Taittiriya Samhita Kandam 1, Somena Ashtaucha is a Korvai. That means Ashtaucha means after the word Somena, which is the 50th padam, there are 8 more padams, so that the student knows here I am learning 58 padams. Like that, at the end of the prashna, there will be specific korvai or chain statement which gives the beginning statement of all the anuvakams which are over there. It will also give a special series of the starting padams of 1, 11, 21, 31 in the increments of 10. It will also have for the prashna what is the first and the last padam. Like if you take the prashna, first kandam, first prashna, it starts with Ishetvo, therefore the first padam is Ishe. It ends with the padams Rudun Kalpayati. So it will say Ishe Kalpayati, that means the student as he goes through the entire, memorizes the entire prashna, he has his own clear control. Then if you go to a kandam, it will start with, suppose the first kandam has got 8 prashnas. It will start with the starting words of all the 8 prashnas as a control to say there are 8 anuvakams, 8 prashnas over here. Next, we go to the structure of brahmana. There are 3 major sections. Here, it is called as an ashtakam. And the ashtakam has further subjects. People refer to it as prashnam or prapadakam. The prapadakam and prashnam are interchangeable terms. There are 28 prashnams in brahmanam. A chapter within a prashna is called anuvakam, which is the same name. There are 338 of them. Under an anuvakam, there are paragraphs. These paragraphs are called dashinis. Each paragraph normally will have 10 statements. There are 1,833 dashinis. Then within each, the dashini need not necessarily have 10 statements. Towards the end, they may have less than 10 or more than 10. The final count of the number of statements, or what we call vakyams, is 9, or the total vakyams are 19,373. Now, what is something very special about this Brahmanam is the last area from 3.7, that is 3rd Ashtakam, 7th Prapataka, to 3rd Ashtakam, 12th Prapataka, are normally learnt by the Grahasthas. 3rd Ashtaka, 7th Prapataka is Achidram. Next, 3.8, that is the 8th and the 9th Prapataka of Ashtakam 3 are known as Ashwamedha. Then the Prapatakam 10, 11 and 12 are called Katakam. Now, each of them has specific set of mantras, and you may find some of the mantras are also found in the Samhita. So, Achitram, Ashwamedham and Katakam are something that you very specifically learn. How is that the control is maintained? The chain statement here will give the count of the statement. Suppose a dashini has 12 statements, it will give the end of the 10th statement and it will say Dvecha. That means after the 10th statement, there are 2 more statements. Like for an Anuvakam and also for a Prapatakam, you have got chain statements for control, so that by repeating the mantras and checking with the control, the student knows that he has memorized and got them correctly. The third part or the book in Krishna Yajurveda is called aranyam or aranyaka. It has got only one section or one book. It consists of 8 Prapatakas. Some books may give it as 10 with a breakup with a different school. There are 234 Anuvakas. There are 577 Dashinis and the total statements or Vakyams 5483. Since they follow the Dashini principle, the Korvai is given, the chain statement is given similar to Brahmanam. So what are the main sections that you see in Aranyam? You read Sikshavalli, Brahmanandavalli, Brihuvalli and Mahanarayana Upanishad. Normally the first 3 Upanishads or Sikshas are taken first. You may come across or you will be taught Mahanarayana Upanishad little later. They form the 5th and 6th Prapataka in Aranyam. The first Prapatakam in Aranyam is what we normally call as Surya Namaskaram. Actually, the right technical name is called Aruna Prashna. And towards the 7th and 8th, you will find contents like Purusha Sukta, Uttara Narayana, Mahanarayana, Gosha Shanti Mantra. All these are found. So the mantras that you learn in the initial part, first 2 years, also have a good share from Aranya. The next part is called Ekagni Kandam. It has got 2 Prapatakas. First Prapataka has got what is called a Kanda, 18 Kandas with 293 mantras. Second Prapataka has got 22 Kanda, 398 mantras. The word Kanda denotes a piece, slice or a part. Now this Ekagni Kandam has key mantras which are used during marriage, Upanayanam, what we call as Simandam, childbirth, it's called Jata Karma. But these mantras alone are not used. They form only a crux. These mantras are supplemented with lot of other Vedic ritual mantras, like you have to do a Punya Vachanam or you have to install the Kalasha, what we call Kalasha Stapana mantra, and say you are reciting Rudra will be recited. If you are reciting Udaka Shanti during a Simanda, that will be done. So, Ekagni Kanda gives the crux and it is supplemented with other mantras. And of course, we have to use the various sutras given either in Bodhayana or Apastamba Sutra to complete the entire procedure. Ekagni Kanda is normally not taken up for the householders. Only householders who have done a bit of Adhyanam or who are very good in learning the mantras and who need to support certain Vedic Pandits, the Vedic Pandits will be willing to teach Ekagni Kanda. But to understand the rituals and the procedures for various ceremonies, it requires a lot of observation and practice, and also the understanding of certain Puranas, certain sutras that have been given by the sages. VedaVMS as a group, we have tried our best to provide the mantra references in our books. In case of Samhita, Brahmanam and Aranyam, the first digit represents the kandam or the ashtakam. The second level will be the prashnam or the prapatakam. Third level numbering will be the anuvakam. In Samhita, the fourth level will indicate the panchati, whereas it will indicate a dashini in case of Brahmanam and Aranyam. Sometimes you will find the reference of Rigveda mantras. In the Rigveda, there will be 3-level numbering which represents the mandala, the sukta and the mantra number. One note of caution that we would like to give is, we are a team mostly members following the Krishna Yajurveda Shaka from the southern part of India. If you are a listener who belong to the other sections or other Vedas, you follow other Veda like Rig, Sama or Atharva Veda, or you are a Krishna Yajurvedi but you reside in a different part of India, kindly follow the practices that are specific to your family, community, because the sutra that is followed and the rishis guidelines that you follow could be very different from the practices in the southern part of India.